Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Orange Grove Library's online computer classes. On behalf of everybody at the Harrison County Library System, I welcome you to my new and revised computer classes. I have gone over a lot of things and tried to update them, and I hope that you can bear with me for all technical difficulties that we may encounter during the programming. But anyway, we're going to start today with computers and computer basics. What exactly is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It sees data as a series of ones and zeros and knows how to manipulate them into more complex things like pictures, movies, websites, games, and much more. It uses a combination of things called hardware and software. Hardware is simply the physical, touchable, material parts of a computer. So if you grab your laptop or whatever device you have in front of you, you're grabbing the hardware. Software are the instructions that a computer needs to perform various functions. This term software means the same as a program. So all the apps that you have on your phone, that's software. Computer hardware components include the case or tower, and it houses the central processing unit, or the CPU, the memory, the power supply, the motherboard, and the hard drive. The CPU is like the brains of the computer, and then the motherboard is like the main circuit board of a computer. And then the hard drive is the device that's used for storing computer data, and it contains one or more disks. The monitor, it simply displays the text and pictures generated by the computer. The keyboard allows you to enter information into your computer. Excuse me. It is similar to a typewriter, but it has some different keys that perform special functions, and we'll look at those during the course of these two classes on computers we're doing. The mouse is a pointing device which allows you to select and manipulate objects that you see on the screen. It's how you grab stuff on that you see that's on the computer. The printer prints text and pictures from your computer to paper. And they don't really cost that much, and I will advise you that a printer will have, if you use it, the ink won't dry up. But if you try to save the ink by not using your printer, guess what? Your ink is going to dry up. The CD and DVD discs are inserted into your computer system disk drive. They can store much information, but your computer can only write it to them with certain drives and disks. Like you can't write something on your YouTube tape, a YouTube DVD, or whatever CD. It has to be a writable disk. And the hard drive, this is the C drive. When you go to a computer, you're going to see a thing called a directory, and they get all these different alphabetical names. The C drive is for the drive in the computer. The D drive is for the CDs and DVD. The E, F, and G, and they'll go up to however many ports you have for your computer. They're for things like USBs, cameras, etc. Things that you plug into your computer that are not a part of the actual computer. A flash drive, or USB, is an external drive that serves to store files, pictures, documents, even programs that your computer is in a much more manageable way than CDs or DVDs do. For one thing, they're portable. You can lose them very easily, but they're really worth their money. You can get, even gas stations sell them now. But they're very handy to have, and I recommend you buy yourself one of these. This is the basic computer architecture. You got your processor, RAM, hard disk, keyboard, mouse, display, and printer. And the RAM is like the memory. The processor, again, is the brains of your computer, your hard disks, and all the other stuff there. Don't need to know this, but it is a good idea to see what it looks like and how it's all connected. This is your basic desktop computer layout. We're going to go from at the top on the left to the bottom on the right. Icons are simply images. It means the Greek word for image. And those are like images that represent the different programs and files that you have on your computer. Your cursor, of course, is like where you're going to start out when you start typing something in. So you look for, it's called an I-beam. It will be flashing. And then when you click in a little box to type it, that little thing will show up. You've got your toolbar, which will give you all the different things that you can do in whatever program you're using. The whole big square on the computer is actually called a window. And they'll have little things that you can use to make the window smaller or even make it go away. You can exit out of it and all that. That'll come through time. You'll see what it means. The screen is really everything on the monitor. The window is whatever program you have open. The monitor, of course, and you got your tower. You got your CD-ROM drive. It's a little button that you press and it'll open up. You got your flash drive ports. Then there's the power strip for the computer. And then going back over to the left-hand side, you'll see the taskbar that's at the bottom of your screen. That will show you all the programs that you have open. And then you've got a speaker. If you connect it with the speaker, there's the keyboard, the keys, the CD-ROMs down there at the bottom, and then you got your mouse and mouse pad. So anyway, and a lot of mice, I recommend to get a wireless mouse if you can, because I hate to deal with a bunch of wires when I'm dealing with a computer. I don't know about you, but anyway. And then you've got your laptop computer layout. You've got your LCD display, your plastic case, of course, that contains the whole thing. Your USB ports are usually on the side. There are buttons for wireless. Usually the wireless thing will come on now. You don't actually have a button for the wireless. You got hard drive. That's inside the computer. Your pointing device, which is your mouse, instead of a portable mouse, it's built into the laptop, and it's the bottom. A lot of people have a problem with dealing with the laptop mice. So what I personally like to do is plug in a USB that controls the mouse, and it's a wireless mouse, so you don't have to deal with any of the wires and stuff like that. But and there's the DVD player. It's open right there, and you see it. You got your memory and your battery and all that stuff on the back, and the keyboard, of course. So it's really basic stuff. You just need to get whatever is most comfortable for you to use. Software is any set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do, such as a web browser like Google Chrome and Foxfire. You got a media player, that's a Windows media player icon next to the Foxfire and Chrome up there on third from the left. And then you have a word processing program, that's Microsoft Word icon right there. These are different programs that you use for surfing the web, playing media, and actually typing documents out. By computer, most people mean a personal computer such as a desktop or a laptop. But, and before I say but, there's two styles of these. You got a PC and a Mac. And PCs are made by many different companies, and most commonly use the Microsoft Windows as an operating system, or OS. That's what OS stands for, operating system. And then Macs are made by one company, Apple, and the Mac OS X operating system. It's got its own thing. I've been told that Apple is very good, but it doesn't play well with others. There's not a lot of stuff that you can interchange between a Windows computer and a Mac computer. They got their own stuff. So anyway, it's also a lot more expensive, but I like them. But anyway, I also like the Windows regular computers too. There are many other types of shapes and sizes of computers, most of which you might already be familiar. You've got your Android and iPhones. Those are also little mini computers. You can go on the internet with it, you can go to Google Chrome, you can do all that stuff, and you can call people. So it is what it is. One of my other favorite things to do with a phone, like I would with a computer, is listen to music and take pictures. So. And then, of course, you got the other mobile devices such as tablets and iPads. Okay? The iPads are going to be more expensive, but again, they're Windows, and they're very hardened against getting viruses and stuff like that. Tablets, I haven't had as much experience with, but they're fairly decent. You can get a Kindle Fire. There's a lot of different things out there to use, and they're just handy. You get bigger than looking through your phone at, like, say, a movie or something. You got a better enjoyment of it. And anyway, you got gaming consoles or even computers. And now even TVs have computers built in them, but they may not be able to do everything that a desktop or laptop can. And they can also be really cumbersome because instead of like a cursor with a mouse and stuff like that, you're using your arrow key. You see by his thumb there, or her thumb there, that's a little arrow. That's how you would push the little mouse cursor from one thing to another. So anyway, we have one at home like that, and it takes some getting used to. One type of computer you may not have heard of are servers. And what are servers? They're larger computers that serve information to other computers in a network. So like Walmart's going to have its own server. AT&T is going to have its own server. Cable One will have its own server. Web servers, they serve information in the form of a web page that you see when you surf the internet. So all the stuff that you see on the internet is usually put out by what's called a server. They also are used to store and share files in offices. So you can have a server that's just local for, like, say, the library. We used to have one for the library. And anyway, you've got a lot of different things, but those are like they're really big computers. It's actually a series of computers that are networked together for the purpose of, a company or a business or whatever. Here are a list of some basic computer terms that you'll probably need to be familiar with. We'll go into them later. I can also send you, if you like, a copy of a little dictionary I made for computer terms. You got your CD drive, your case. We went over a lot of these before. CD, DVD, CPU, D drive, desktop, E drive. File is just a computer file, like a document. It could be a picture even. Flash drive, hard drive, icon, internet, iPad, iPhone, keyboard, laptop, memory, and modem. And then you got, of all those terms, monitor, mouse, PC, printer, program, software, tablet, USB. We haven't talked about what a webcam is, but that's just a camera that's either built into a computer that you can use to actually take live pictures or whatever you want to do. And then Wi-Fi it's wireless connecting of internet devices, so or digital devices. So that means that they don't have any wires. They're just connected through the web, but you can talk to each other. Anyway, Windows, just a different type of like things that you see on the computer. The whole big square on the computer is a window. Now there's a keyboard close-up for you. They have a lot of different keys that you might notice from if you ever took typing in school, which of course I didn't. But you got the escape key, the function keys are that top row next to the escape key. I'm going from left to right up here. In functions, whenever you press a button, it's going to have a certain function. You have to press the little Windows icon, or it'll say on a laptop, they'll have an FN button, and you press that at the same time you press the function 1, 2, 3, and it'll do different things. And then you've got the enter key, that's most handy. You got two of them actually located, one on the big set of keys, and then if you look to your right, you'll see a set where they have I want to show you with my pointer if I can. This right here is a number key, and if you're entering a lot of data, like say on a spreadsheet or something, you're working for a business, you're just going to use those keys to input your numbers. So your hand's not actually dragging over those top keys to get to your numbers, which are on that top right here, this list of numbers. A lot of times people get what I call happy fingers, and your thumb or something will hit that R instead of the 5 or whatever. If you use these set of keys, you're not going to have a problem. And then the arrows, if you're having a problem with the mouse, you can use those to go back and forth, up and down on the screen. You've got the print screen mode. These are special functions that are listed. If you're on a page and you hit home, or page up, it's going to go to the top of the page automatically. And if you want to type something in and you're trying to type and type and type and nothing's coming in, make sure that the insert key is on, because if it's not, nothing will get inserted, nothing will get typed into the whatever little box that you're typing into. And then the number lock is the same thing. If you're trying to type numbers and nothing's happening, press that button so that the numbers will actually go in. And then you've got the Alt, Windows, spacebar, all those different things. We're going to go into that in greater detail, but I just want you to get an overview of the keyboard on a computer. Okay? These are magic buttons that you can press, that if you press Control-Alt-Delete, it's going to reset your computer. It will get you to where you can actually go and turn your computer off, or if there's a program that's stuck, you can do that. It'll say, come up with, it's called a task manager, and you just close that program out. Control-C is copy, Control-V is paste, Control-X is delete and cut, Control-Z is undo, and Control-Print Screen will print whatever's on your computer. Of all those listed right there, the Control-Alt-Delete and the Control-Print Screen are probably going to be the most useful. The Control-Print Screen, especially if you're trying to describe to a computer tech what kind of problem you're encountering with your computer. So if you press Control-Print Screen, you'll see. Okay? And now we go to the computer symbols. Now, nothing is ever written in stone with computers. These things sort of happen organically, so that means that if somebody has what's called, an on button, it's not going to look the same on all the computers. And if we scroll down here to, I'm just going to show you the battery. All of these at the top mean battery, okay? The Bluetooth, it's actually taken from the Scandinavian, the people who invented Wi-Fi. They came up with it, and this will indicate that the Bluetooth is on when you click on that. And then this is a CD right here, Firewire, which, sorry I forgot what that means actually, but I can tell you later if you want. These are headphones, and this is contrast. Down here is power. You got microphone, and then you got a camera. Then there's your hard drive. Is it on or off? That's the on or off button. You see how different this one is from the other ones, but like I say, nothing's written in stone. So it can be, you sort of have to guess at what it means. And then you got your volume below that. If you look at your devices, you'll see these icons written all over them, but they're real small and they're hard to see. This is for the flash drive, the USB. It's like a fork, sort of. That's for your video. Then you got your Wi-Fi and connectivity. This is going to be for, it's like I always think of like a radio or a TV tower sending out a signal. And that shows you your bar strength will have how many bars it is. So if it's full strength signal, all of those little bars will be lit. Okay. Now, for those of you who are dealing with a mouse and have problems, this should help you out somewhat. But if you still can't get it, don't worry about it. But it is one of the basic things that you're going to be doing a lot with computers. So it's always good to know how to use a mouse. So anyway. When you look at your mouse, you're going to have what's called the left clicker and the right clicker. And then you got the wheel. And the left clicker, and if you're taking notes, I would take a note on this. The left clicker is going to grab what you see that's on the computer. Whatever it is that you're clicking on, when you click with the left clicker, you're going to see it press down, and it's going to move a little bit maybe even, but that will allow you to interact with whatever's on the screen. And if you right click it, it's going to open up a menu that will tell you what you can do with the different options. And if you're intuitive, the left clicker is a natural, but the right clicker will open up all the different things that you can do with it, and then you go over and left click that and we'll do it, like say open a program. And we're going to look at some live stuff and you'll see what I'm talking about. But right now, just rest your hand gently on the mouse so that your palm lays flat on the top and your fingers are free to click the right and left buttons. You know, I tell people you got to make peace with all this technology. So if you make the peace sign, y'all know how you put your forefinger or middle finger out and make a V. Use that with your hand, palm open, and put your hand over the mouse, and then just practice left clicking, right clicking. Left click with your forefinger, right click with your middle finger. Okay? Just click, 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 click. Okay? Now still holding the mouse like I just said, move your arm in a circle. And if you got a mouse on the screen, it's going to start doing this. But don't click when you do it, because you might click on something you don't want to. But if you just move your arm in a circle on the mouse pad, you see it doing like a little loop-de-loop, and you can move it all over the place. But right now, it's not, the cursor isn't the blinking I-beam, it's just the arrow beam. So that just tells you where you're going with it, okay? But anyway, go to any icon on your computer and practice clicking on it with both clickers. What will happen? Okay? I'm going to show you on my big old huge computer that we have that I'm doing this class on. Okay? Now, this is the directory. You see I got the C drive right there and all of that. I'm going to minimize the screen by clicking that little minus sign. I'm going to minus out these guys too. Okay, there are your icons. And you see how as I'm moving over each icon, it kind of gets a little bit lighter. That's called highlighting. So if I want to open up Google Chrome, there's the icon for Google Chrome. I can double click it with the left clicker to open it, or I can right click it. And I'm going to right click it because I know that's the most frustrating thing a lot of people have is to double click it, because they click it, but then their hand moves back and forth a little bit, so it doesn't take. You have to, when you double click something, you have to keep your hand still. I'll say that again. When you double click something, you have to keep your hand still so that only your finger is moving, okay? Because the mouse is going to go from side to side when you move your hand. So keep your hand still and try to double click, and you'll get that. But if you are you frustrated and you want to right click it, there's the options. You got open and all these other things you can do. But you just click where it says open, and you see the little cursor doing its little thingy there, and it's going to open up that program. While we're waiting, let's look down there at the bottom of the screen. If you can see it, you've got what programs are open, okay? So anyway, that's how you do that. Let me go back to my programming here. I can find my PowerPoint. This is me going all over the place with the computer. Okay, I am going back to my icons for computer, opening it up again. Get back to the mouse. Okay, so when you click on once with the right clicker, you can just click open, and the screen opens up. You can close it out by clicking the X. Okay. Now with the left clicker, if you double click on the icon again, you're going to see that it automatically opens. So here's me doing that same thing I just did, going to Google Chrome and double clicking. Click, click. I don't know if you heard that, but there it is. It's opening up Google Chrome. Okay? Okay, now, when you click open the icon a third time, you see that at the very top of the page, of the window that you have, you're going to see an address. And that's what's called an address bar. And in it, you can type anything you would like to ask a person what you're looking for. You can just type it in. You don't have to do the www dot and all that other stuff. But once you type out what you're looking for, you just hit enter on your keyboard. And this is how you do that. Okay? I'm going down here to, let's go here actually. And now I'm going to type in BBC. And there is the BBC website. If I want to ask what's the zip code of Kansas, okay, it's going to give me the zip codes for Kansas right there. Another little thing handy to have for the buttons, if you press Control and the plus sign, it makes the text bigger so you can see it. So that's pretty handy little tool too. But you just need to practice with the mouse, okay? When we do our next class, we're going to be doing some stuff with the keyboard more. So just, play around with it. Get back to the mouse again. Did you find what you're looking for? This is always the question. But I'm going to leave this screen up for a second. What I would like for you to do is go to, when you get on the address bar, type out GCF Learn Free Mouse Tutorial. Then once you type it out, you hit enter on the keyboard, you go to the website, and then you're going to practice playing with the mouse. And for practicing with the keyboard, you type in the address bar GCF Learn Free, type in tutorial, and hit enter to go to this website. And in the course of the whole time I've been teaching computer classes here, I have used GCF Learn Free as a source for the classes. They explain things very clearly. They've got a lot of videos. They've got a lot of tutorials on every different subject. But if you want to go there for learning the mouse and the tutorial, I think it would help you out a lot. So practice with that. And then they've even got more mouse practice that you can do by, you can play games like you did, like with your grandkids or something on a computer. That's a great experience for learning to do a mouse. But you've got PCBlibrary.org mousing. The one game that I tend to like to play myself, just even after I was introduced to it, by an elderly lady who came here to play on a computer. It's called Shooter Bubble. So if you go to Shooter Bubble, it's in fact what I can do. This is a fancy little trick. It's no big deal to do, but what you do is you just I'm going to go on the net and do Shooter Bubble. Not that one. I'm going to open up this screen and do Shooter Bubble. And they have the games that you play for free. Hold on a second. A little bit. This computer doesn't have the software that I need. And if I go to another site, see if this one might do. Okay. And I hit play. So look how the mouse turns from an arrow to a little hand. That indicates that I pressed that button. If I clicked anywhere in this area, nothing's going to happen. But when I drag my mouse over to where it says play, that means I can interact with that button. I can press it by left clicking once. And now the game's going to load. After this ad.
Welcome to the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Welcome to beautiful beaches. Relax on beautiful beaches. Relax on the highest peaks. Explore the highest peaks.
Well, I have to wait till the
Explore the
game
sea
goes
life. Swim
over.
with the sea
Let
life.
me
Swim with this view.
mute that for a
Check out this
second.
view. Check out the culture.
I'm
Get
going.
really into the culture. Get really into extreme sports. Discover it.
Okay. Anyway, that's how, if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's an icon for the loudspeaker, the little cone thing. When I click on it, I can click mute to do that. So anyway, now this game is very easy, but what you do, the goal of the game is to hit 2 or more of the same buttons together. When it's 3, they disappear. So if you notice there's 3 green ones here, I'm going to click that green by just clicking on it, and now they go away. And now I'm going to hit these. This is blue. There's 2 blue here, and I left click and the button that they go away. Now here's some red. I left click. It goes up. Oh, I thought it was red, but those are purple. And then you can make where there's 3 of them at the same time and make them go. There's another red. I mean, it's a fun game. It's something to do to pass the time, but it's also actually good practice with the mouse. So whatever you like to do with the game, just pick out something. You can even do a crossword, okay? But anyway, let's get back to what we were doing with the keyboard, just to showing you little things like that. And I think that's it. So anyway, if you ever have any questions, what I want you to do, these are for typing. If you want to go and prepare for next time, you can go try practicing for some typing, and then maybe if you want to drop me a line. Oh, by the way, when you're sitting at a computer, you don't want to slouch. You don't want to have your elbows lower than your hands, and it's just going to, over time, wear you down if you don't do this. It's called ergonomics. So you got good posture and bad posture. So if you can compare the 2 diagrams, you can see that person's got his feet on his toes, as opposed to the good posture where the feet are both on the ground and the head is straight. If it's not straight, you're going to get neck strain. So it's all that. And then you've got, that's an ergonomic mouse that you see right there. And this crazy keyboard that's, if you put your hands out from your person and you see they're actually tilted toward they're tilted up towards the center. Well, that's the exact same way that keyboard is shaped, so it's done with your natural body form. So that will help you from getting your whatever the carpal tunnel and all of that mess. So that's good. And then you've even got a stand-up desk, because everybody knows that sitting is the new smoking. So anyway, whatever tools help you out to where you're going to have a healthy lifestyle, but in conjunction with using the technology that's so prevalent in all of society today, you're going to need to use it, want to learn to use it. That's why you're here. If you got any questions, please drop me a line at librarydude1999@gmail.com. My name is Jeff Conwell, and I'll be seeing you soon.